All right, what's up, everybody? We are back with the B team.
Yeah, baby.
Mike, we are back. The
Always.
Mets are on fire. The Yankees are on fire. The Cowboys are not on fire.
No.
Not on fire. Very not on fire. It is currently 47-9 with a minute left as we are recording.
They are the Titanic.
And it's
a disaster.
It's not good. It's not good. This is all following Dak Prescott stating that there's no way we can drop any more home games. Well, Dak, let me tell you, we didn't just drop one, but we laid an egg.
Hey, he said you can jump off the team. Please, 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 jump off. Jump off.
And I'm still not off the team. I'm still not off the team.
What a roller coaster.
So I want to ask
bro.
you this before I get into it. Are the Cowboys done? Is it Dunzo? All right. So there's Dunzo, done, Frisky, alive. Where are we?
Just because I don't know the rest of your schedule, you are done. I don't know who you guys plays.
That's not the worst thing.
But this is what it might have been a bad comparison or whatever, an analogy, but when you play good teams like the Lions, bro, you fucking lay goose eggs. You just, obviously not a goose egg, but you just absolutely look like shit. I mean, this is what I've been saying. I mean, are we saying the Steelers are an elite team like the Lions? No. And you guys won that game, but this is a roller coaster. This is not a fun roller coaster. It's one of those where you just hate one roller coaster in the amusement park, and that is the Dallas Cowboys. They are not fun to watch right now. They are an average team. That's plain and simple. That was a pathetic showing today. Mm-hmm. Pathetic. And hey, this falls on Jerry Jones. This falls on the defense. This falls on the coaching. Every little aspect about it is just, it's a disaster there. It is a disaster. They are an average team at best. They made no moves. Derrick Henry is probably the best back in the league, who could have been the best back for you. Yeah, you have Rico and you got Zeke, but he makes a difference. He's a difference maker. Brandon Cooks being out, it's bad, bro. I'll let you go into it, but I have nothing positive from this game.
Now, Mike. Here's where I'm lost with everybody. I'm lost because everyone's saying this is an average football team. This is an average football team. They stink. They're bad. They're ugly. This ain't even the Cowboys football team. Yeah, our offense has CD and Dak. Our left tackle non-existent, injured, done, bad. O-line injured, bad. Defense, we are missing two cornerbacks, 4 DNs, a starting middle linebacker who was playing very good coming into his own the last couple of weeks. We had injuries to Bland, Kendricks, Parsons, Z-Law, Nealon, Kalen, Vigil. This ain't the Cowboys defense. This ain't the Cowboys team. I'm sorry, but everyone is putting this game right in the forefront of their brain and saying this team stinks. And you know what? I agree with you. This team stinks. A healthy Cowboys,
but that's the thing,
doesn't stink. And a healthy Cowboys doesn't stink. So I just want to remind everyone, fear the Cowboys if we get healthy. Fear the Cowboys when they shave their head like Sirianni and come back and they bring this thing back up here. It is not a Dak problem. Don't even start saying it's a Dak problem. This team is very unbalanced at the moment. And when you have unbalanced team plus bad coaching, because Mike McCarthy, like I said on our story today, he has to stop eating cheeseburgers and letting the grease fall out of his mouth while he's trying to call plays, and he has to actually call a football game because this man sucks. He is terrible. Zimmer, great job against a bad Browns team. What have you done since? Oh, at home, 44. At home, 28-0, essentially. Lucky we came back, so that one doesn't look too bad for you. Oh, at home against the Lions, embarrassment. I'm starting to think that Zimmer can't coach at home.
I'm starting
to think that this defense can't play at home. I'm starting to think that there's too many distractions at home. I think there's a few off-the-field things going on that we're not seeing at home. And this defense needs to get healthy because these backups, who I don't even think I've heard of in preseason, some of these guys are catching balls that I never even heard of in preseason. They're getting on the field. And we're sitting here, and we're trying to say that this team is average. Buddy, no shit. No shit, it's average. We are putting average players on the field because this ain't the Cowboys. This is a fake Cowboys team. This is a makeshift Cowboys team. So listen, I'm here for it. But we all have to remember at the beginning of the season, I right now am only one game off what I said our record would be. I said we would be 4-2. I got the Saints game wrong. Hand up. That is the best game the Saints have played all season. We got stuck in a bad situation there. They have not looked the same since, so I'm not taking the L on that one. I said last week they should give it back to us. They still should. But I had Cleveland correct. I had Baltimore correct. I had the Giants correct. I had the Steelers correct, and I had Detroit correct. Get us to the bye week. And San Francisco, watch out, because so far this year, Colin Muller has not been wrong about the Cowboys. Did I say we'd be average? No, I said we'd be good. Not great, but we'd be good. I said Dak Prescott, it's not his fault. The coaching was bad. I said this all in preseason. Go back and look at it, because I know you Eagles fans don't believe me. But I have been correct so far this year, and I am proud of my Cowboys for what they did on the field, because we put out a junior varsity high school team today on defense. And you know what? They held Detroit to how many points? I don't have the score up anymore. I turned it off.
47.
47? Dude, for a high school defense, that really is not bad. I thought it would be 50. So you know what?
You know how many people are going to believe this, by the way, watching this?
Still on the Cowboys. And
So they're still winning the division, right?
Okay, hand up. I'm going to back up on that. But we will sneak into the playoffs. I stand on it. Now this is all assuming that over the bye week we can get some of these guys back.
They might be worse than the Jets to watch. No,
this Cowboys.
It's so bad.
No, this Cowboys. Yeah, but the Cowboys that I have listed on here, if they come back, that Cowboys team is dangerous, and you can't shake your head, Mike.
The way that you find ways to twist this is
am I wrong?
Funny. But it's next man out mentality, bro. That's it. Everyone has injuries. Mike, literally even said that injuries are not an excuse for every team. This is not an excuse, bro. It's not.
It's not an excuse. I'm saying that this team is bad.
Oh, yeah.
This team is average. I'm not making an excuse for them. I'm just reminding everyone.
They're 3-3. They are average.
That team is really bad.
So there's two Dallas Cowboys teams.
Yes, there is. This team could be good. Now, that's how every team should look at it. When I say your team sucks, yes, that team sucks. But if you get your guys back, you can be good. You just have to look at it like that. You got to have that big brain mentality. And you know what? Just remember, I said it before. I had Cleveland as a W. What happened? It was a W. I had the Saints as a W. What happened? The Saints came out, and it was like watching the Monstars versus the Looney Tunes.
But beat the good team. Beat the good Dallas Cowboys team. The actual good team, correct?
No, the Saints came out, and they had the game of their life.
Not that team.
I still think that the Saints were juicing that game. Baltimore came out, won the game in a close one, 28-25. And then New York Giants beat them. Pittsburgh beat them. Lions... L. But I said that we would take the L because it was a revenge game. And you know what? Let's get into the Lions here for a second, because we're just letting them off the hook.
They're the best team in the NFC.
Dan Campbell blew his load this game. He blew his load. He revenged too hard. He came for knees too hard. A little so hard that he might have hurt his best player on defense. A little so hard that he showed off every single special play that he had in his book. I'm just saying, Dan Campbell, you could have pulled the reins back and protected your team, and you said, I want this to be about me and my revenge game. We should have won last year. And what'd you do? You blew your load. Everyone knows all your trick plays now. They're going to be ready for it. You did it all in week 6. You still have another 12 weeks to go, buddy, plus the playoffs. You ain't going to win shit. It's over, Lions. You're going to make the playoffs, but you ain't winning. Good luck. Sayonara. Hope I get to play in the playoffs with that other Cowboys team, not that Cowboys team. Mike, what do you think about the Lions? Because I thought they were very good today. That team is dangerous.
They're the best team in the NFC.
Montgomery won me so much money.
They're the best team in the NFC.
That Lions team, that best team in the NFC. Yeah.
I don't have much to say on this game. I kind of left this for you.
Yeah.
And I'm going to keep this for you. But that Dallas team stinks. And that Lions
Dallas
team is
stinks,
good.
And that one's good. Yeah, but
that's all I have to say, bro. That is a youth segment.
Remember, we had a Lions NFL team against the Cowboys local high school team. So that's all I got to say on it. Let's move on.
Wait. One last thing, actually. Aiden Hutchinson, get well soon, my brother. That is really such a painful loss, because he, in my opinion, was a top 3 DN this year. Mm-hmm. You can sort him between TJ Watt and Max Crosby. That really hurts. So they're going to have to find ways to just keep showing out on defense. I mean, that's a big player to lose, but hopefully he has a speedy recovery.
Oh, one more thing. Yeah. Also, yeah. Speedy recovery. Yeah.
Thoughts and prayers.
Thoughts and prayers.
We're sending thoughts
Seriously
and prayers.
though, like he's a beast.
I know.
Freak
Sucks.
accent really
Terrible.
does suck. At what point can we start putting Brandon Aubrey in the MVP conversation?
He might be the best player on your team, brother.
Without him,
you got to put a goose
isn't
egg.
happening. This isn't happening.
He's the
all
best.
These games are not happening.
Is it
without
crazy
him.
to say that he actually might be the best player on your team?
He might be the best player in the NFC East.
Yeah. Yeah.
Saquon. It goes Jaden Daniels.
Saquon.
I don't know about I'll put Saquon above him. Jaden Daniels, Saquon, Brandon Aubrey. Because no one on the Giants is getting in there. So if you take every team's best player,
maybe Neighbors.
No, but he doesn't care about football. He's going to
that is
he's going to
crazy.
strobe light concerts with a concussion. It's unreal. I cannot wait to see what the Giants do tonight because I think it's going to be a comedy of errors because Singletary's out too.
Yeah, they got Tyrone Tracy and that. Listen, if for that game we don't have to get into it. The Bengals are going to win and they should absolutely win. If they don't win that game, that franchise is over. Blow it up. Except for Joe Burrow. Maybe Jamar. You're not going to pay him, I guess. We'll see, but. They have to win that game. There is no excuse to lose.
That is must win.
Yep.
Must win territory for them.
Oh man, I'm sorry you had to watch. I was watching the Lions game too, and I'm like, man, not fun. But we'll move on.
Like, follow, subscribe. Like, follow, subscribe. Like, follow, subscribe. Back to the show.
So the Steelers came out today and scored the most points they have all season against the Raiders, who honestly I expected the Raiders to be a lot better this year.
Me too. So
and they are terrible. They are terrible. Aiden O'Connell did okay today. I just think they're a quarterback away and Devontae Adams away. Are the Steelers going to be a competitive playoff team? Because at this point in the season, I don't think there's any way they won't make the playoffs with how they're playing. I think the defense is just too dominant for them to miss the playoffs. And as long as the offense, I mean, they put up 32 today.
Against the Raiders, who people are requesting trades, and they have no quarterback and they have no running back. That's a bad team, and they are now a shit show. Yeah. They actually had a potentially decent team going into the year, but now they are a dumpster fire. Pierce is losing the locker room.
Yeah.
It's bad. You can barely name the receivers that are catching. You're just like, who's number 8? Who's number 22?
It was really
who's number 81? Like that's the Raiders.
It was like watching the Cowboys today.
It's like watching a college team and just no name on the back, and you're just like, who is this guy? And then you have to look him up on ESPN. Like, oh shit, that's who it is. Like that's exactly what the Raiders are. On defense, same thing. But on the Steelers, they took care of business. I think they took care of business. Defense played well. I still think the offense is just so ugly, bro. Like Najee had first rushing touchdown.
Stop real quick.
First rushing touchdown.
Oh, yep. Congrats. I have a theory. Okay. The Steelers, if they ride with Justin Fields, okay, in the next 2 years, we'll be looking at them like we look at the Ravens.
Could happen.
I see when I look at this team and I watch them play, they've been getting better each week. And Justin Fields is built to play similar to Lamar.
Correct.
You know what I mean? And today, you look at his numbers. You know, he's not doing a ton through the air, but he's doing enough.
Yes.
But his legs are so good.
Yes.
He can run the ball. He can move, and he protects himself for the most part. He actually protects himself more when he runs than he does in the pocket.
That's true.
Which is crazy.
He
takes bigger hits in the pocket than he does running the ball.
I just don't. And again, I
know
Steelers.
Najee Harris. I mean, he goes for 106. Not to cut you off.
No, that's
like,
fine.
If they can get that Najee Harris every week, they're going to be looking similar. Not exactly the same, of course, because Lamar and Derrick Henry are on a different plan.
100%.
But
they're here
they
to
can
stay.
be a D+ model of what the Ravens are.
That's what that was my next point. Like I just don't think it's sustainable, but like it will win you games when you actually stick to your identity, which is running the football and just being physical and gritty on defense. That's what they are. They know that. Steelers fans know that. Everybody knows that. That's you watch any Steelers game you put on, your first initial thought is this is going to be an ugly game. Yeah. I mean, it was an ugly game for the whole time. I don't know. I think when you're playing better teams down the road, again, where you're going to see the second half of their schedule, we're really going to see like how you were with the Commanders. Like, we'll get into that game too. But once that second stretch, week 11 comes, week 10 comes, I think they have a bye week 9, 10, or 11, somewhere around there. That stretch after the bye, we're going to really see what that team's about. They're playing teams and they're winning games week 9. Once week 10 comes and they go through a pretty big gauntlet of teams. We're going to see what they're really made of because they've played some good teams. They lost to the Cowboys. I can't think of another elite team that they've beaten so far. But is it sustainable? Is the defense again? They're the same story.
They beat Atlanta.
They beat Atlanta. Okay, and it was early.
That's
what was it?
Elite-ish team.
Yes, was that week 2?
Week 1.
Week 1. Okay, that's week 1. They were slow. Then they started heating up. Now they're looking like a very, very good team that can come out of the NFC South. But I just don't know if this is going to last. Like I truly don't. I think they're again a 9-8 team. I don't think they're winning the division. I think the Ravens are the best team in the league. I think they're too powerful. The Lions could be too. I'm just saying. Vikings as well.
You can't forget them. They are on a bye.
Yep.
Let's not forget the Vikings. Don't
Agreed.
forget all the good that is occurring.
I did.
You're forgetting Sam Darnold just like you guys did when he was your quarterback.
Oh, stop it. Love that guy. But I just don't know if the defense, again, it's the same beating a dead horse. I don't know how many times they could just keep relying on their defense to win them games. But it was actually different today where the offense was getting touchdowns. Justin Fields had 2 touchdowns. Najee had 1. That's great. That's exactly what you need to win games. If you're putting 21 points up on the board, the defense should take care of the rest because they scored, I think, 13, 17 points, the Raiders. I don't know off the top of my head. 13. Like, that's your formula. That's your formula. If you get enough points where you could put your defense on the field and they could just stop everybody, you're going to win games. But when you're playing better teams like the Detroit Lions, if they're playing them, I mean, good luck. So that's all I'm going to say. I'm not hating on them. They won me my bet today. They were my pick. But let's just see. It's just a wait and see type of team. Yeah. Everyone knows what they are. Everyone knows what they are.
All right, so Mike, here's my thing with the Steelers right now. They are currently 4-2. Currently 4-2. They're in a great position to make playoffs at this point in the season. And they have 2 massive games coming up against New York. Both home, both primetime. And you look at the Giants, Danny Dimes, he is what people think Kirk Cousins is in prime times. And I added an S there to prime time.
That's fine.
I don't know why.
It's okay.
That's
okay.
on me.
So it was a long day.
The Jets, struggle bus.
Yeah.
New coach.
They should win both of those games.
We'll see how they do tomorrow night, but who knows? And then you look at it, after those 2 games, they have the bye week, and then they come out and they play Washington.
That's a tough game, and that's an elite team. I don't know.
If they win all 3, I don't think that, because you got to remember, Jaden Daniels, that might be the first time he sees that type of defense. Because he hasn't seen that type of defense. Let's be honest. There hasn't been a defense that he's played against that has been that elite. Because I don't really think there is anyone that elite in the league. He might come out and get blown out of the water by that defense. Who knows? So if they go 3-0 down that stretch, I don't see a way they don't make the playoffs. Because you got to think the Browns are going to drop at least 1 to them.
They're done.
If not both.
Mm-hmm.
You got to think if the Bengals continue this way.
Yep. That's 2.
I don't know if they'll win both. Eagles, who knows what's going to happen? Sirianni's yelling at the fans today at home.
That should be a win.
Who knows? And then
I don't believe in the Birds.
And then let's say the Bengals do figure it out, and they rattle off their wins down the stretch here. They don't lose for what?
I think
12
they will.
weeks. Let's say they don't lose for 12 weeks. That last game, they might be resting people, and all of a sudden that's another win for the Steelers. And you're looking at
9-8. That's what I'm looking at. Because what you just said
that
there
is
just
9-8.
described 9-8, bro.
9-8.
Like,
So,
I don't. It's every year.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Yes,
Steelers fans, this is what it is, and you're somehow going to sneak into the playoffs. And if they do make the playoffs, I think that they get a win. I think somehow, no matter who they draw, they could draw the Chiefs, they could draw the Ravens. It's very hard to beat a team 3 times, and the Ravens are going to be in that scenario if they draw the Steelers. If they draw the Bengals, if they draw the Bills, I feel like this Steelers team, they have this little piece of magic in them where it's like the little engine that could,
They just get it done.
No one actually believes in them. They're like the little boy someone brings their little brother, he's 6 years old, to pick up basketball, and they're like, all right, let him play with us. And then all of a sudden, he's just draining threes because no one's playing defense on him.
You have the one co-ed team where the one girl just snapping.
That is this Steelers team.
I could see
that is this Steelers team because no one wants to play the defense on them. So all of a sudden, they're just going to sneak up on you, and they're going to win one, and then they're going to get blown out the next week. But they're gonna win one.
Yeah.
That's just.
But like,
Steelers
this
fans
is
have
not
to be okay with that.
It's just not the script, though. Like, how long have we seen this script nowadays? That's just exactly what it is.
We've been saying this since mid-June.
It is the script.
It is the script.
That is the script on the Steelers. And I'm not even trying to hate on the team, but like, look at every other team in the league and then look at the Steelers. Just look at the way they run their offense. It's just different. Mm-hmm. It's what they do well. It's what they stick to. You know what? I give them credit for actually sticking to it. Yeah. Because when you try to change it up and it's not working, then you're going to lose games. Yeah. If you're going to be a pass heavy team, I'm sorry, you're losing games. I just don't think there's any way you're winning. But they know it works and they do it and they get the win. Yeah. So I got to give them credit for that. I got to give Tomlin credit for that too.
Going back to what we said earlier about them being close to the Ravens, if this team adds one or two weapons in the draft or in the offseason, they really could be dangerous. Yeah, they really could be.
That's another team that needs to start. Like they've been such a defensive. Yeah, they've been such a defensive team for pretty much their entirety of their fucking organization and franchise. But if they can just start adding pieces like that, Amari Cooper, like the thing is though, like they don't even need. I don't even think that team needs like some type of like wide receiver one stud guy because again they're a run heavy team. They're not going to switch ever, bro. Until Mike Tomlin is gone and Arthur Smith is gone, like that is when they will change and they will be a different type of offense. But with those guys there, especially Arthur Smith, because he is a run heavy coordinator. I don't even think there's really a need to get a guy. Maybe for just like depth purposes.
They got to go get
a guy like a 1 year deal veteran.
Worthy. They got to go get this
like a gadget guy.
They got to go get the fastest guy in the draft and just put him with George Pickens.
Yes.
And just be like, you're going to be really fast, and if you just run really fast, you will get paid. That's what they have to do.
They need, but like what I'm envisioning, if I'm in that office or if I'm with the staff or we're in some type of meeting, they're looking for a guy like Worthy, but I also think they're looking for a guy who's physical and is going to be a run-blocking receiver, which is not talked about enough in the league because that's what actually changes the trajectory of an offense of actually getting yardages. Like a guy like Michael Pittman or like Mike Evans, some type of tall, strong receiver that's going to block and actually do a pretty efficient job doing it. Yeah. That's what they're looking for. I don't think they're looking for some flashy playmaking guy. Like Pickens is the perfect example of what I'm speaking of because he's physical. He will body someone off the line of scrimmage just to block. Like that is what the Steelers are. Like, and it sounds bizarre that I'm saying this, but it's true. And I think every Steelers fans will agree with me. Like that's just what I'm not saying that's what they need, but I think that's what they look for. And if they are looking to add another piece, that's a guy that they'll go after. Let's go to
Tampa Bay.
The Tampa Bay
beat the living crap out of the Saints. The Saints are the fakest team in the NFL.
Yeah, they're fools.
They're
like
the
Blue
fakest
Jays.
team in the NFL.
Yep.
I mean, I know Spencer Rattler played quarterback today. I thought he did well for it being his first game.
So did I. Is that the future? Is that the future of New Orleans?
I think it is. I think Derek Carr's days are numbered because give Spencer Rattler some time. I think he'll figure it out and he'll get it. He's always had that swagger about him where, no matter where he was at, you believed in him. And I think that it's something that the Saints can like get behind. The fans can get behind.
I'm with you, man.
Almost like a Baker Mayfield where, Baker's a number of years in the league and he understands it. Give Spencer some time. I think if you give him 2-3 years, let him learn behind Derek Carr for a little bit longer. I think that he can do something for you. I think he can do a job for you. And at least with your weapons you have, he can move the ball down the field. You don't need, with the weapons that they have, you don't need someone like Patrick Mahomes. You would love someone like Patrick Mahomes, but you don't need that. You just need someone that can get them the ball consistently, and I think he can.
That's a guy, I think, where if the Saints are out of the playoff picture, let's say you're going into week 12 or 13, and what's the record? They're 2-4, I believe, right now.
2-4.
And let's say they're like a 4-8, 3-9, somewhere like that. Because I just don't think they're going to rattle off some wins against the Carolina Panthers and shit. But they have a tough schedule. And if the season is looking pretty much over, they're going to fight to the end of it, of course. And they might make some changes in the staff. But that's a guy I think you just try to give him time. You just try to give him playing time because, like you said, Derek Carr's days are limited. And what we saw today and what I saw today was a dude that looked like he was just trying to win a job. Because, again, Derek Carr's out for the next 3 to 4 weeks. And there's another guy in there. I don't know who it is, but they put Rattler over him to start. And he should just play for a potential position in the future. So I really thought he looked okay today. I really did.
I'm looking at their next 4 games that he could potentially play, if not into the future, of course, but their next 4 games. And with Spencer Rattler playing quarterback, these are going to be some of the grossest games of the season. All right. Their next game, Thursday Night Football prime time versus Denver. Gross. Gross game.
That's a tough game,
Okay?
though.
Tough game. Tough game. Denver's been looking a little better still.
They lost Surtain. That's
Very
another
gross.
big L.
Yes,
and I think
gross.
one more thing with the Saints, I think if Olave, because he got ruled out with a concussion early,
Yeah.
really early in the game, that's one guy where if he's there and he's on that team during this game, a completely different outlook in my opinion.
Yeah. That gives him another option to throw
For
to.
sure. Yep.
After that, they go at Los Angeles Chargers. Gross. They go at Carolina. Potentially very gross.
Mm-hmm.
And then versus Atlanta. Could be gross and ugly. Right? So that's 4 games. Also,
But I just don't know what to think of this team. Like they're such a coin. Like there's always
they're
that.
fake.
I know, but there's always that one team that, yes, they've gone on a losing streak, but there's that one team you could just never put your finger on. Like that's a team I just will never ever take in a bet because they can come out and they can light it up, but dude, they scored 27 points in the second quarter alone. I'm pretty sure that is probably the highest scoring in a quarter that I've ever seen. 27 points. They think they scored 3 in the first quarter or 0. Then they go to 27. You can't put your finger on this team. Mm-hmm. And that's why I think they're another type of roller coaster where you really need to start figuring out ways to win because that is not a recipe. I get it. You're scoring, but then you're not scoring. And then you're scoring, and then you're not scoring. You need to be more consistent on that offensive side because the defense isn't bad. It's just that offense. We know Kamar, you're gonna run him through the freaking ground. Yep. But I don't know. They're just such a wild card, man. You never know what you're getting with that team. And you know what? I'm rooting for Rattler because I don't think Derek Carr is taking them anywhere. And his days, again, are numbered. So I'm happy they are making the right decision because they're giving him a chance. Mm-hmm. They're giving him a chance again. I don't know who their backup is, but they're giving this dude a shot, and they're looking to see if he could potentially be the future of this franchise. So kudos to them on that. But Baker Mayfield is my MVP right now.
I was just about to ask you, is Baker Mayfield the front runner for MVP?
I truly think so. Even though he had 3 picks, 2 of them were not on him, bro. If you watch the game, they were not on him.
But Mike, I don't even care about them.
4 touchdowns and how many yards?
Had 325 yards on 24 of 36, 4 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and he put up 51 points.
He's my MVP right now, and I love Darnold, but Baker I think should be the front runner for MVP. Unless you want to throw in Lamar or Derrick Henry, whatever. But if I'm looking at a guy right now who's doing what he has to do, is looking like one of the best quarterbacks in the league, it's Baker Mayfield. And I've had him in my top 5 since the year has started, and he's only creeping up. He just looks so good out there. And again, he had 1 bad pick, that's fine. But the one went off the receiver's hands. Then the one, a defensive lineman tipped up in the air. Easy catch for them. Good play by Brian Bresee, by the way. But they were getting punched in the face in the second quarter. Again, the Saints put up 27 on them. And the fact that they came back and won and put up 51 points. Yep. Godwin had a really good run after catch, and so did Sean Tucker. So I'll give them credit. But he's getting these guys the ball, and he's letting them do what he has to do. And Baker is still showing heart. Regardless, he's my MVP. He looks fantastic out there. He looks fantastic.
Ready? Top 3 for MVP. Go.
Baker.
In no order.
Baker, Lamar, and I have to keep a quarterback base. So Baker, Lamar, and I guess Darnold at the moment.
So ready? Imagine.
Unless I'm missing somebody.
Ready? Imagine the year is 2019, okay? And I show you on the television.
Who got drafted?
No. In 2024, week 6, these are the 3 top MVP vote getters currently. Imagine that graphic. You have the last pick in the first round. You have Baker Mayfield, who at that point everyone was like, oh, I don't know about this guy. And you got Darnold seeing ghosts.
Bro, Baker in that draft, that was 2018, I believe?
I think it was 2018.
2018. Baker went 1 to the Browns.
Mm-hmm.
As a Jets fan, we had number 3. I wanted him. Me and Gassy were sick watching it in my college dorm. Number 2 was I forget. Doesn't matter. Number 3, Sam Darnold. Number 32, Lamar Jackson. That draft class now is really turning around, and they're getting a chance. So when you actually give people an opportunity where an organization is going to
Saquon Barkley,
of course, when that organization is going to move you forward, that's why it's interesting now. You can't give up on these guys. Like Josh Rosen was one thing because he was just plain old ass. I played for UCLA ass. Josh Allen went number 7. That class is turning out to be probably one of the best quarterback classes that we've seen.
Dude, this class.
And it sounds insane, right? Saquon went 2. I think a lineman went 4.
Go through this whole
I want to hear
quick?
it. Give me everyone.
2018 draft class. All right, Baker went 1, Saquon went 2, Darnold went 3. Then you had Denzel Ward, Bradley Chubb, Quentin Nelson, Josh Allen, Roquan Smith.
All studs and still playing in this league.
Then you had Josh Rosen.
Not in the league.
What a flop. Dude.
Yeah. Remember what they tweeted too? They were like, our quarterback, and they like showed Josh Rosen.
Dude, that dude's an accountant in New York at this point.
Yep.
You had Minka, you had Vita Vey.
Starter.
You had Derwin James.
Starter.
Jay Alexander.
Starter.
Leighton
Even Vita's a starter.
Leighton Vander Esch, beast, retired now.
Was good in his prime.
Fallen King. DJ Moore, Hayden Hurst, Calvin Ridley.
Wow.
Rashad Penny.
Well, he's retired.
Yeah.
But he had his stint too with the Seahawks.
Sony Michel.
Hey, he retired. He had a great career.
Lamar Jackson. You had Nick Chubb.
Shaq
Leonard.
Wow.
Let's keep this thing
Dude,
going.
that was in 2018.
Ronald Jones II.
Yeah. Okay.
People forget. Cortland Sutton. Mike Gesicki.
What a draft.
Kerryon Johnson.
He was fun for a little bit.
He was a fun guy. Let's not hate on him. He was fun to watch.
I agree.
Christian Kirk.
Kirk still playing.
Dallas Goedert.
Got hurt
Connor
today.
Williams. Guard.
Cowboys. Okay, I thought so.
Yep.
Sounds like a guard.
Jesse Bates,
who is a stud. What a draft. We have to go crazy with it, but what a draft.
DJ Chark.
Yep.
People forget.
Jaguars legend.
People forget. Let's keep this thing going. Dude, this just keeps going. Fred Warner.
What round are you in right now? Are you in the fourth round?
Third round.
Dude, Fred Warner's the best linebacker in the league.
Yeah. Royce Freeman. Great running back for the Cowboys.
Nice.
Wow. Man. I could just keep. Dude.
But who would have thought
Michael
that in
Gallup.
that league you look at those guys? Because, again, everyone was out on Baker. Everyone was out on Sam Darnold besides me.
Mark Andrews,
too.
Crazy.
But hold on, though. Everyone was out on Baker. He took the Browns to the playoffs. The Browns are just a shit organization. They fucked up. Sam Darnold went to the Jets. Okay, of course he's going to not succeed there. Then him and Baker go to the Carolina Panthers. Oh, they're done, blah, blah, blah. They're washed. Baker goes to the Rams. Then he goes to the Rams. Wins a freaking comeback win in overtime. Darnold goes to San Fran. He learns. And look at these guys now. The only one that really succeeded right off the bat was Lamar Jackson. But
Josh Sweat.
Look at these guys. Like, I love it. And now those 3 are probably the top 3 quarterbacks in the league right now. Sam is on. I would throw him in there, but he's very close. But Baker and Lamar are that's 1 and 2.
Justin Watson.
That was 6 years ago, and they're still playing.
Yeah,
you know what the average lifespan in the NFL is? Like 3 years.
Yeah, and all these guys are still balling out. This is crazy. Tyler Conklin.
Yeah.
He was 5th round. Great career. I could keep going all day.
I know you can.
Mike White, drafted by the Dallas Cowboys. You're welcome.
Jets legend.
You're welcome. Without the Cowboys, he would have never made it.
Jets legend.
MVS.
Okay, yeah.
He's still. I mean, he got drafted.
So you've probably just listed off 20 players from that draft. I mean,
Ray McLeod.
Ray McLeod, nice.
The worst fantasy guy.
There are some draft classes where maybe 3 of those guys. The one with Lane Johnson, I think he was the only one that succeeded in that draft class. Yeah. The fact that you've named over 20 people and they are either a stud in their respective position on a team starting, not a bench player, that's impressive. You do not see that. Braxton Berrios is a kick returner. It's a punt returner. He's getting tick.
Still. Dude, I'm in the 7th round. I guarantee I'm going to find someone.
You're going to find someone.
Absolutely.
Come on, I'm waiting. Anyone?
We're hitting a rough patch.
Okay, rough patch. Here. 7th round.
Rough patch.
Those are the diamonds in the rough.
Yeah, and no one from the 7th round's doing anything these days.
That's fine. But, well, since we're on the topic about quarterbacks and that class,
Yeah.
I have a little point about this Ravens Commanders game.
Mm-hmm.
This was the best type of loss.
I got someone.
Who do you got?
Philip Lindsay.
Undrafted legend. Yeah,
Undrafted.
Nice.
He
had that 1 year where he was a top guy.
Tim Boyle as well. Undrafted.
Oh no! Shout to Gas. Shout to Gassy.
That will Alan Lazard.
Undrafted.
Dude, this is crazy. Byron Pringle, undrafted.
He had his stint with the Chiefs and the Bears.
He's got a ring.
He does have a ring.
He has a ring. J.C. Jackson, undrafted. This year was crazy, dude. Crazy.
Yeah. No, I mean, well, now looking 6 years forward, and like these guys are playing. But okay, let's move on.
Yeah,
that was great. That was great,
fun.
though. That was great. Just to refresh my memory of some guys in that draft.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone that's going to be watching this realize how good that draft class is now.
No.
I didn't.
No. How did we get on that? Baker,
yeah. But
Baker opening up minds.
Baker. That's what he does. But
Like, follow, subscribe, like, follow, subscribe, like, follow, subscribe. Back to the show.
with the Ravens Commanders game, that was the best type of loss, in my opinion, for the Commanders. Because they didn't get blown out. They still looked efficient as hell and strong on offense. But the Ravens are just a better team. They have more experience. They have Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. That's a tough duo to stop. I thought it was a great game. I think they lost by a touchdown. So you can't hang your hat on that. It's an L. It's a good team you're playing. Jaden Daniels, again, looked phenomenal. So I think they're going to win the division, bro. I really do. I think the Washington Commanders, when we had that video, Mike, of the Washington Commanders winning the division, and I said, fuck you. I truly think they are now winning the division. It's so weird how the world works. Look how good they are. They look amazing. Dan Quinn, I don't know what he's doing, but he is making that team look dominant. And you know what? They are dominant. Terry McLaurin has resurrected from the dead. Their defense, I don't even know a lot of defensive players they have, but they were sacking Lamar a lot. Zay Flowers, I will say, so fast, has turned it up and had 9 catches in the first half. That's just a tough team to beat in Baltimore, but you can't just hold your head up high, take the L like a man. You played a great game, and you're going to move on, and you're going to do well. You really can win the division. You really can.
I've never seen a team come out and go 4-2, lose, and get praised more for losing to a team than beating a team the week before. I've never seen it in my life, and somehow we are at this point where every news station, we have teams actually winning games. At 1 o'clock today, we have teams winning games and getting no shine. And what are we doing? We're showing Washington Commanders highlights, which, fair play, they did look good, but they lost.
To the best team in the league.
I don't care. You lost. And I'm seeing more highlights when they're talking about this game of the Commanders than I am of Lamar and his team. And they won. And Lamar is a front runner for the MVP. And we are seeing no highlights from him. We're only seeing Jaden Daniels. It is like everyone's trying to force feed this kid down our throat, which, fair play. He's playing great. He's playing phenomenal. Probably going to be Rookie of the Year. That is fine. I'm on his side. I said it last week. I'm in on him, out on the team. They're 4-2. They just lost. Why don't we wait before we start fist feeding this team like the Chiefs down our throats to see how they actually do in a couple weeks? You know, if they come out and lose to Carolina or Chicago, are we still going to be talking about this team?
Yes.
Are we?
Yeah.
Are we? Because I guarantee if they lose to one of those two teams, they're definitely losing to Pittsburgh. They're definitely losing the game to the Eagles. They're definitely losing a game to Dallas. They might definitely lose to Atlanta. Might definitely, not definitely.
They're going to listen.
They're going to take L's. And when they take L's, we need to see the same type of talk about this team as we did when they were winning. I need to see people put pressure on them like they were to the teams they were losing to when they're losing.
They're going to be favored in every single game you just mentioned, by the way.
And that's fine. So when they lose, one, I'll be a rich man. Two, I need to see people at ESPN not hide in their little cubbies and do whatever the big man says. Actually talk about the team and say, are they just an average football team? Because let me tell you, the Cowboys lost to the Ravens by 3, and we ripped them to shreds. They played bad, but they got ripped to shreds the next day. Ripped to shreds.
They got
Mike.
blown out.
Lost by 3. And
They got blown out.
Yeah, but Mike, no one said anything about how the Ravens let them back into the game and gave the Cowboys a chance. No one said anything about that. Everyone said the Ravens were the best team in football.
So did you.
I did too, but I still said that they got to not do that. Everyone else is on the side. Oh, the Cowboys suck. This was terrible. Yeah, no shit. The Cowboys suck. We always
of
suck.
course
It's
everyone.
terrible. But no,
The
let
Yankees
me
of the
finish.
MLB.
Let me finish.
The Yankees
Let
of
me
the MLB.
finish. Let me finish. No, they ain't. No, they ain't. Let me finish.
Go. We can't get back on this team.
We're not getting back on this team.
All right, go. Go. Finish.
You never
finish.
let me finish when we talk about Washington. 2
Finish.
weeks ago, I tried to talk about Washington. Last week, I tried. All you do is cut me off. Let me finish.
Liar.
Go listen to it. Go listen to it. We'll clip it. We'll send it. People said that it was true. Washington, when they start to lose, you need to be as loud as you were when they were winning. I need to hear the hate come down on them because this is BS. This team's going to finish 500-ish, and we are going to be saying they're the best team in football. I can't stand that. They're a great team. They got great players, but when not Dan Campbell, that dude's got real estate up here right now. Lots of real estate.
Oh, you sure? Absolutely.
When they start to lose, just be loud. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say.
So you're not sold on the team yet, though.
No.
You still have to wait.
No, they lost.
Are you sold on the Vikings?
The Vikings?
Mm-hmm.
They have one more week. No, I am.
You're sold.
I said,
Okay.
I
So
said
how
they
many more
won
weeks
one
does
more.
Washington have now?
Well, they lost.
So how many? They're 4-2. How many more weeks?
So let me just read this off here. They beat the Giants. They beat Cleveland. Both those teams stink. They lost to the Bucs pretty bad. They lost to Baltimore today. Best team in the league. Can't really hate on them for that. They'll probably drop a spot. At Arizona, massive win. But Arizona, I'm thinking they're like a 500 team because Call of Duty's coming out. That win won't look too good at the end of the year. The Bengals, they beat them when they were down bad, and basically it was a shootout because both defenses are sketchy. Dan Quinn always is gonna he's gonna crash and burn eventually. He always does.
That's the only thing for me, 100%.
And Carolina, yeah, okay. So they beat Carolina. Sick. Carolina sucks. The Bears.
That's a close game.
I think the Bears will win that game.
Good
win.
win.
And then you look at the Giants.
They're hot.
The Giants suck. Pittsburgh going to win that game. Eagles going to win that game. Dallas going to win that game. Tennessee, they suck. So if all that happens going into their bye week, we should not talk about them anymore.
Okay.
Because they're just an average football team.
Could we just move on? Let's move on.
You brought it up.
Well, we had to. It was part of the game we were talking. But I'm just saying
have to.
that win, that loss. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That loss.
Look at that. They have you thinking they won the football game. That's how much people are talking about this football team.
They
Mike, this is
played
ridiculous.
well, bro. And still they lost, but they looked fine and they did everything they could. Like I just watched that game. And they were not making shitty mistakes, bro. Like the Ravens were just better. Like it's simple. Like Jaden Daniels looked great. Everyone was catching the ball. Like the defense did what they could, bro. They held that team to 27 points. That's a damn good football team. I just can't. I just can't say that it was a blowout and like now I'm off them. Like I just think everything is working and clicking for them. But you bring up a good point. If there's one guy to frig that team up, it is Daniel Quinn. It is Dan Quinn 100% because we've seen it before. We've seen it with you guys. We've seen it with every team that he's coached for or has been involved in. He can be a guy that cannot manage the clock and could ruin it by a stupid timeout, a stupid play call, something that is solely on a head coach. So if he just continues to be a good coach, let Jaden Daniels cook and get the defense to be average to good and just hold teams to less than 30, that offense is so dominant they can do their own thing. So I like this team a lot. I truly think they can win the division. But you bring up good points, which I'm not gonna rebuke whatsoever. Like you really do. But
there's two. You could go either way with this because they're a 500 football team. You could say they're great. You could say they're bad, and you're not wrong either way. It's like talking about the Steelers.
I think for them,
except Steelers are good.
Last thing, I think for them, we're going to see their true colors when they are facing the division. when they're facing the Giants, okay, whatever. When they're facing you guys and when they're facing the Birds.
I hope they go into
because if they get swept on by you guys, by the Cowboys or by the Birds, then we need to pump the brakes. Right now, I'm full throttled in with this team, and I'm really enjoying what. And you know what? I'm happy for them though. Like, just I know you're a Cowboys fan; they're a rival. I get it.
They're gonna go 1-3 in Cowboys.
Hey, and it could happen, bro. But like, you never see a team like this in the Commanders, who have been through so much shit between ownership, quarterbacks, everything. This team is cursed as much as we are as the Jets. But what they've done. They listen.
I don't know if they're cursed or if they just have a pedophile owner.
He was terrible. He was terrible. But what they're going through right now, their fans should rejoice because they actually have something to watch and they actually have winnable games every single time they play on Sunday or a primetime, whatever. So I just want to give them the flowers because they deserve it, man. Listen, they had an L, but they played well, and that's a damn good football team. So they're going to be back. They're going to be fine. And Jaden Daniels is my rookie of the year at the moment. So
same. All right, let's move on here. Eagles 20, Browns 16. I said this before the game. I actually loved seeing the Nick Sirianni shaved head. I loved it. It gave Joker vibes. And you know what? I think cocky Sirianni's back. I am the furthest thing from the Eagles fan, but there's something about cocky Sirianni that just gets the boys humming. It gets the boys going, and he's clearly back. He was chirping his own fans today, and there's no better time to do that than walking in to an away game at the Giants, followed by a very tough stretch of games without a bye week coming up. They have no more bye week. The bye week's gone. They lost that bye week. I'm going to be straight up with you. They lost that bye week. It was not a fun bye week. There was no going to the water park on that bye week. It was a bad bye week. It was a work bye week. And they came out. They got the W by the skin of their teeth against a bad football team. And, now they just got to start rattling off wins. They have to. But if Cocky Sirianni's back, I mean, I'm scared.
Did you watch the game?
Cocky Sirianni is not someone I want to see. Yes.
You did?
Yeah.
Were you impressed with the Eagles?
I mean, you saw my text. I was impressed that they pulled off the win.
It's an ugly win, bro.
I was impressed they pulled off the win.
At least they pulled it off, but
like,
man, if the Browns, Kevin Stefanski, can you please bench Deshaun Watson for the sake of that team? Bench him.
Can I whisper something?
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
I think the Eagles need to draft a new quarterback.
You think they'll hear that?
I hope they hear it. Jalen Hurts is not doing it for me anymore, and I love the guy.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because sometimes he looks so good, and sometimes he looks terrible. It's like a Duso meme. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's shit. Like at least Dak Prescott has excuses with the O-line thing, but I feel like, did the Eagles have injuries on the O-line? No, right? Yeah.
I think Lane Johnson is still playing, so.
Yeah, like, I don't know. And you have a running back. And you have weapons on the outside. There's nothing missing, and I'm trying to find an out where I can protect Jalen Hurts and still bash the Eagles, but I can't protect Jalen Hurts.
They could not get anything going on the ground game today. And Hurts made one good pass to A.J. Brown for a touchdown. Nice to have him back. And then Devontae, a simple crossing route to him where he just took it to the end zone.
Dude.
But that defense, held the Browns off a bye to 16 points with a pedophile, pervert, rapist as a quarterback who needs to be benched. It should have been benched 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
I don't know. As an Eagles fan, I can't – pick him off. But, I can't, be happy about this win. I mean, you're happy you got the win, but, you're not like, oh, we're back and blah, 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 this. Dude, there are still massive issues with this team. Mm-hmm. Sirianni chirping his fans, I don't know if that's a good thing because he's the Eagles coach and that fits for the Eagles fan base.
I think that's awesome.
Or is it time to fire that man? Because,
no, I think you keep him.
Oh, just, man, I don't know. Just
that's the stuff that brings people together right there.
Bring Jameis Winston in the game, please. Please, because
the
Deshaun
Eagles?
Watson is so lost. The Browns. He is so lost. He's so bad. He's so bad, bro. It's terrible to watch. And apparently they're rolling with him next week. bro, just give Jameis a shot at this point. You're 1-5 now, and you got nothing to lose. Like, you need a spark, and he obviously is not the spark at all. Was that Siri?
Or was that Siri?
I think that was Siri.
She listened to us?
Siri, chill out.
Like, follow, subscribe. Like, follow, subscribe. Like, follow, subscribe. Back to the show.
All right, you want to get into the Jets?
Yeah, why not?
All right. So I have one question for you, and you can just talk, and then you can get into your Mets if you want to as we watch the game real quick. Is there more pressure added to Rodgers to play well now that the coach is fired? Because
100%.
now it's kind of like, okay, it's not the coach. They're basically saying, this is you. This is your time. Right? Because now, if they bring a new coach in and Rodgers doesn't produce, there's no one else to blame.
They fired the wrong person, bro. They truly fired the wrong person. Nathaniel Hackett should have been fired right off the get-go. Ulbrich should have demoted him, which I believe he is, and now Todd Downing is calling plays. But listen, when you bring in Aaron Rodgers, who wants to bring his friends in and just have a good old time hanging out in New York or Florham Park and just going at it, I mean, this is what happens. This is what happens. Him and Saleh didn't get along, and we're not going to get into it on the show, but I think there are multiple reasons why Saleh got fired. If you saw something that he was wearing, I'm not going to get into it. But that team just wasn't looking right. It wasn't looking good. But hey, this is Rodgers' team, dude. This is what they signed up for. This is exactly what they signed up for. I think Robert Saleh is he's a good man at heart. I think he can be a great DC. He will help out another team. Do I think he was a really good head coach? I don't think so. But I don't think he was the reason why we were losing and why we were looking bad. I think the offense is just not there. I think the play calling is not, that's my main thing. Is the play calling is just terrible. It's atrocious. It's terrible. We have no identity. Breece Hall now looks like a mid-running back where we know deep down he's one of the best in the league. We don't run the ball. We don't know what we're doing. We don't target Garrett Wilson except for the Vikings game. There are plenty of problems. And Saleh being one of them, it just didn't really make sense to me at the moment. But they need a scapegoat again. This is like when Mike LaFleur got fired. Then they called him the reason why we were doing bad. Now we have Rodgers in, and he's got say. He's got power with that team. But it's Hackett. It will always be Hackett, and it's Hackett. Yeah, that's just who it is. So who are they going to hire? I mean, they got Ulbrich coming in, and I think he's going to do just fine. He will do just fine. He's a really good DC, and he's going to lead these guys. He'll be fine. But we need to stop going down this route of just defensive guys. It's done. Defensive guys only work when they're actually like, you give them credibility and they actually have a good resume, like Mike Tomlin and Mike Vrabel and Bill Belichick, guys like that. I'm probably missing other defensive coaches that are really good, but they need to change everything, man. It's ugly. It's so ugly. This is a big game coming up tomorrow. Like, we win, we're in first place. If we see Rodgers playing like shit, I mean, this is on us. This is what we deserve for going all in. But again, he's still the best chance we have to win, besides any other quarterback that was out there that we could trade for, blah, 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 sign, whatever. But
So are you guys all in or all in my ass?
I think right now we're all in my ass. Truly. It's one of those. It's one of those, like, They had the right team, though. Because every Jets fan, including myself, saw this team and like, bro, Aaron Rodgers is going to make this team good. He's going to make this team good because we have weapons. We signed Mike Williams. We have Breece Hall. We got this Braylon Allen kid from Wisconsin who's the youngest player in the league and is looking elite. But when your play calling isn't matching up to what the players on paper should be doing, there's an issue, and it's blatant as hell. Every freaking fan of the NFL and the Jets can see this. Like, that guy needs to go. He needs to go. You need a guy like Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson, you just saw what they did to the freaking Cowboys. Slowick from Houston. Cliff Kingsbury in Washington. Just take a chance, and if it doesn't work, whatever, man. But stop with the defensive coaching. Ulbricht's going to be there unless he gets a job somewhere. So I don't know. They're a mess, man. And it really shouldn't be like this. It really should not. But
the good stuff. Let's get into your Mets. Give me everything that's on your brain. They're playing right now. It is not good right now.
No.
Not good at all. But I want to get all your thoughts. Let me hear them.
Before the season, I've had Mets fans text me before they were even playing, oh, this team is this team is this, like, we're playing for 2025, like, we're just not good, blah, blah, blah. I call this team a wild card team. That's what they are. They were always a wild card team. They started 22-37 in May, and they never come back from shit like that. Not this team. But what I've seen the last 3 months, 4 months is nothing short of spectacular. And they are riding this magic carpet until the end, wherever it is, whether it be the NLCS or the World Series. But I am so proud of these guys for what they've been doing. I truly am. Lindor, hand up. He might be the best Met we've ever seen, funny enough. He's finally erupted, just putting the team on his back in Philly. And I just love what I'm watching. This is the most fun I've watched. The Milwaukee Brewers series, where Pete Alonso, who has been dog quiet for the last 2 months, September was nowhere to be found, and this whole postseason was nowhere to be found. To hit that, probably the biggest home run of his career, and will be in his career, to move them onto the NLCS it's magical. I mean, you bring up Vientos, who was getting swapped in for Beatty at third. You probably use all of your options on him. Now he's at third base, and he's an absolute stud. He's a spark on that team, and he's probably going to get a big contract from us. Jose Iglesias, who has put these guys together off a freaking song that he made, which is now being remixed by Pitbull and someone else named Silvestri, funny enough, is nothing short of spectacular, and he's been phenomenal in the postseason, and he's hitting over 300 batting average. The starting pitching, I got to give credit to David Stearns here. The moves that he made, they swung on Verlander and Scherzer, but they didn't rock with it. The Mets would rock with it, and they would be like, oh, well, we already paid him. We're going to keep him here. They actually made a difference, and they made a move like, oh, this isn't working. Let's move on from these guys. Yes, they're still paying them, but to bring in a guy like Sean Manaea, who is a journeyman, he has been the most electric left-hand pitcher that we've seen and has been an absolute stud in the playoffs and in the regular season. Jose Quintana, same thing. The starting pitching doesn't get enough credit. They truly do not get enough credit because they have held the Phillies. Don't even get me started on them. They're probably still crying about this shit. We smoked them. We outplayed the hell out of them. And again, postseason baseball, this is what's funny about it. You could have the worst record. You could have the best record. You could be the number one team in the league. It's all about who's hot, man. It really is. The Mets beating the Brewers, who I thought I was really high on, and then beating the Phillies off a bye 3-1. We wanted it more. That's what it is. The Detroit Tigers, same thing. Yes, they did lose to Cleveland, but they made it a really close series. But regardless, all in all, I'm so proud of these guys. I don't even care what happens. I truly don't, because we were not supposed to be here in the first place, and everyone knew that. Who had the Mets in the freaking NLCS on their bingo card? Not me. Not a lot of Mets fans. But the fact that we're here and we're fighting every single day from last Monday, where they clinched this to get into the postseason against the Braves, and then the Brewers series, and then the Phillies series. I mean, well, it'll be 2 Mondays ago, but my God, just what a fight this team has shown. And I'm so proud of these guys regardless of what happens. That's all I have to say, and I really hope we just play well against the Dodgers. They are a beatable team. I think I would rather see them than the Padres. We can do it. And listen, a Subway Series Muller would be electric. So that's all I got. That's all I got on the Mets, man, and I'm so happy, and bring everybody back because this team is different.
All right. Ready? All right, let's go watch some Mets baseball.
All right, let's do it.
Love you guys.
See you guys.